Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a conversation about the mundane. One thing that we can promise you is that our conversation will be less than fascinating, some say relaxing, so that you can just drift off, maybe catch a few Z's. Thank you for joining us. We hope you will listen and sleep. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
And I'm your co-host, Nidhi Khanna.
Nidhi, tell me about a time when you went to a corner store.
A corner store. Marco, I was actually at a corner store last night.
Okay.
I had an emergency milk requirement.
Oh.
And of course, the grocery stores were either closed or too far away for me to want to get into my car or walk down. So instead, I just went to my local corner store. And you know, in Montreal, we actually call the corner stores the dépanneurs.
Oh.
Or a dépanneur.
And what does that mean?
Corner store.
Oh, I see. Well, but because I know sometimes it says couche-tard on it as well, right?
That's the brand of a corner store.
Okay. So.
But, yes, couche-tard is like...
I always say I need a couche-tard, right? I don't realize that I'm saying the wrong one.
Well,
actually.
I guess it's a couche-tard, like it is brand, but
right.
It means, you know, like a sleep late.
Sleep late.
So, I mean, that's a very literal translation.
Open till late.
Open till late.
Right. And that's often when you need a corner store, right?
Exactly.
What was this milk emergency you had?
The milk emergency was that I knew I wasn't going to have any milk for my coffee the next morning.
I see.
And that's always an emergency. So
was it milk or cream?
So interestingly enough, I have milk with my coffee in the morning. And then during the day, depending on the quality of coffee that I'm drinking, I might have cream with it.
Really? Okay, so I need to delve into this.
Sure.
What quality of coffee would require cream versus milk?
So the coffee that I have at my office is one that the company brings in,
Sure.
for example. I don't particularly like it, but it is the coffee that is there.
Right.
And therefore, I'll add a little bit more cream than I would milk, because I find with milk, the taste of the coffee is more apparent. And so I only enjoy milk in coffees that are a little bit higher quality.
So the cream would mask a lesser quality coffee for you, and therefore you would enjoy this lesser quality coffee a bit more because you've got the richness of the cream to sort of balance what the coffee is lacking.
You got it.
You know, it's funny. I take cream in my tea when I can, because since I've been off sugar, the cream is sweeter than the milk, so it'll add that sort of sweetness that I'm lacking from putting sugar into my tea, which I know is a little bit goes against the grain, or a proper tea has milk in it, not cream.
It's funny because I have noticed that, Marco, in your tea consumption. And I thought it used to be odd until I noticed a couple of other people doing it. And I thought it was well, I still think it's a little bit odd, to be quite honest. But I understand your rationale. Now, I guess the question is, because my cultural background, obviously, is very in tuned with tea,
right?
And how to boil a cup of tea properly, and adding milk. So in Indian culture, you always add milk to the tea.
First or after the tea has been poured?
No, first.
That's what I.
But we boil it together.
You boil the milk and the tea together?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you put all the spices in the water.
Right.
Bring it to boil. Add the milk, add the tea, and then it all kind of infuses.
Right.
But I did not know that with Earl Grey tea,
One of my favorite.
You're not supposed to put milk. You're supposed to put lemon.
Oh, I didn't know this.
And apparently it's very scandalous to put milk, particularly when you're in the UK, in your Earl Grey tea. So it's...
You know, Nidhi, I want to put a marker in this episode, because I'd like to do a future episode on Earl Grey tea, because I know there's a wide history on it, and I'd like to do a little research before we do the episode on Earl Grey tea. So I invite our listeners to, keep a watchful ear out for the Earl Grey episode, which will be forthcoming. Now, I wanted to ask you, Nidhi, have you ever been to one of those corner stores that's kind of got an old-fashioned feel to it? Not that they're trying to be, but that, it feels like you're walking into the past when you walk in.
I've been to a couple of those.
Okay.
So there's two distinct types of corner stores that I've been to that have sort of a historical feel to them.
Okay.
One feels like the 1980s type of corner store.
Love it.
Where, all the products are kind of off-brand.
Right.
There's nothing really with a brand name there. You're not really sure what it's all like. It kind of looks like the produce might be from the 1980s.
Okay.
Dimly lit.
Sure.
Very cramped with a lot of stuff on the shelves, but no logical placement of anything. So it's not like you have, I don't know, the baby wipes are kind of with the canned goods, and
Right.
it doesn't really make sense.
Sure.
But then you have things that you kind of remember from when you were a kid, like there's like freezies from the 1980s in their freezer or something like that. And then I've been to a corner store with more of that kind of like old time feel, like that vintage feel.
Right.
And they kind of have cool names. It kind of has that Western saloon type feel to it, where it's like, I think there's a corner store in Kleinburg, Ontario, like that, where it has like a bit of that feel.
Sure.
But it feels like you're going to step into, the 1800s or something like that. And you go in and it's actually very posh, and it's got all these really cool different kind of knick-knack type produce. And then there's a corner store here in Toronto called the Drake Corner Store.
Okay.
Which is not a corner store. It's, well, it's not a corner store where you're going to get milk and, I don't know,
it's
chocolate.
Not in the traditional sense of corner store.
It's sort of got these cool knickknacks and trendy kind of vintagey items. Like,
artisan type.
Yes, artisan crafts.
Right.
Things like that. How about you? Do you go to corner stores often, or is it something that is only a last minute thing for you?
So I live between two grocery stores. Our house, is equidistance between two grocery stores, and I can walk to either. So I don't have a corner store that I go to here, but at my cottage there's a corner store, and we've been going to that corner store since I was a little kid. So it has some nostalgia for it to me, and it has the ice cream parlor part of the corner store, and it has sort of summer things you would need: sunscreen, lotion if you burn yourself, and blow up floaty things and whatnot. But I love going to a corner store, and you'll find these sometimes in some smaller towns or rural areas where they have, the glass jars that have the sweets in it. They're like kind of like candy canes, but they don't curve.
Yes.
And they're all different flavors, from butterscotch to blueberry to sarsaparilla. And I love those corner stores. There was one that we went to one time, and I love butter tarts. And I think we had an episode where we talked about butter tarts, and they had homemade butter tarts, and that is my downfall. If I go to a corner store that has that kind of older sort of small town feel, and they've got butter tarts, I'm easily walking out with $15 worth of butter tarts.
That's amazing. And it's almost like those type of corner stores, the word candy shop has like an E at the end of shop. Like it's that old time kind of feel to it.
There is a restaurant that has that feel when I go to my in-laws, Amanda's parents' home in Florida. I forget the name of it, but it is one of these kind of like part corner store, part restaurant, and it was an old post office that they turned into a restaurant.
Oh,
and
nice.
They have like alligator and things that, very local cuisine, and just the people that go there seem very, a throwback in time. There's one gentleman that I see there who looks like an old time prospector when you watch.
Amazing.
When you watch, those programs from the 40s, and there was a prospector with a long beard, and they were scrawny, and they looked like they were ready to sort of fight. And he just sits there and eats, and it's like you can't help but look at him because he seems like a character from a film.
That's amazing. And now you mentioned that this restaurant has alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried alligator?
Yes, I have.
What is that like? Does it taste like chicken?
No, it tastes more like pork to me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is it very meaty?
It's kind of got a meaty quality. I guess you could call it the pork of the swamp. But it's got more of that kind of feel to it. It's not particularly flavorful on its own. You sort of have to dress it with various things. So oftentimes it's deep fried, or you'll find it deep fried, because you can deep fry just about anything, and it becomes interesting.
Right.
But it's not like a seafood item where it's. I don't find it to be delicate, at least not the way I've ever had it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite thing, but I do love going to this particular place for New Year's, because they have we have a New Year's tradition. We go there for New Year's, and they have dishes that reflect all the sort of goals that you want to attain for the new year. So
what do you mean?
Oh, it's funny, Amanda would know this, but like you have to have there's some greens on there, so the greens represent money, and there's no chicken on there because chickens walk backwards. So there's pork on there, and you want to be marching forward, and a pig will only walk forward. They don't walk backwards. And there's also I want to say black-eyed peas, because they represent something. So it's a combination of like 5 items, and I know I have a photo of it. If I find that photo, I'll post it on, because I took a photo of the menu that sort of described these sort of New Year's dishes at this place, and it was sort of become a family tradition that we go there.
Now, you mentioned obviously that this is in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to Boynton, Florida? Boynton Beach?
Boynton Beach. I think it's not. I think it's nearby. I've seen signs, but I've never been to Boynton Beach.
Because we have some listeners from Boynton Beach that I think we're going to have to do a Boynton Beach fun facts and figures component of this show.
I love it.
So you've never been, though?
I haven't been to Boynton. I've been to Sebastian and Palm Beach and Fort Pierce, and I believe those are all sort of cities and towns near Boynton Beach.
Now, and Boynton Beach is a city in Palm Beach County, so maybe if that's sort of the area that you're describing, then that would make sense.
If it's on the Treasure Coast, then for sure.
Now, Boynton Beach was founded by an American Civil War major named Nathan Boynton.
So that's where it gets its name.
That's where it gets its name. I would like to have a beach or a town named after me. I don't know how you get that done anymore.
I think you have to go somewhere like,
and discover it
and start a settlement and have people come, and then you can have like Chinatown.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, when they settled that area of Florida, they planted pineapples to make, I guess, a pineapple grove. Do you call it a grove?
Plantation.
Plantation, okay.
What's interesting, Nidhi, is that stands to reason, because that area is known for its orange, and in particular the grapefruit groves. So it's a area that is really sort of conducive to growing tropical
citrusy fruits.
Yeah, citrusy sort of fruits. So I've never seen pineapple in that area, and to my knowledge, the only place in the U.S. that grows and cultivates pineapple is Hawaii.
Well, we'll have to find the pineapple plantation next time you go to Florida.
Yeah, I'll definitely pop into Boynton Beach. I'll make a point of going so that I can at least sort of connect with any listeners that might be from Boynton Beach, or just check it out and talk about it on a future podcast.
Now, I believe that Nathan Boynton actually founded a hotel there.
Okay.
I don't know if the hotel actually still stands. That would be interesting for us to know from any of our listeners who are from there. if that hotel is still in existence and if it's still running or if it's more of a museum.
Yeah, so if you're listening from Boynton Beach, tweet us at Listen and Sleep and let us know if that hotel, do you know what the name of that hotel was? If it's changed names, perhaps.
You know what?
Because I know that, where were we? We went to Gloria Stefan's hotel. We checked that out, Amanda and I. And that is in, I believe, oh my goodness, it was kind of a fancier part of Florida.
Jupiter?
No. I can't remember. It'll come to me, I'm sure.
I just threw out Jupiter there, not knowing if it is actually
what's
fancy.
What's funny is Jupiter isn't that far, but I think it's not on the coast. I think it's...
Because isn't there that big Jupiter Island where they have those like Celine Dion has her home and just a bunch of very, very wealthy, famous people.
I think that's in Miami, though. I think that's
is it?
I think that's a little inlet of Miami. Look at me talking about Florida as if I know it. I just basically, I've been to Florida. I love Florida. Jacksonville is beautiful. The Treasure Coast is beautiful. I'm excited to see Boynton Beach, and I've been to Miami, and I've actually driven to the Keys, so all the way to Key West, which is a great drive if you ever get to do a great drive. That's one of them. But what's funny is I don't really pay attention when I'm in Florida because Amanda knows it so well, so I let her take the lead. And even when we're driving, I'll be like, oh, which direction? And she's like, well, we're heading south, so we should be following the direction too. And she'll pick the place. You know how you know which direction you're going on based on cities?
Yes.
I don't know if you ever do that here, where you're like, okay, if I'm going out east, I'm going towards
Kingston or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I do that. And next time you do go to Boynton Beach, it's the Boynton Hotel.
Okay.
However, I have a feeling it's not in existence anymore. But
maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's something else. Exactly.
Big news! Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones at home or work.
Wait, we're going on tour?
Not a tour. We're delivering and setting up customers' phones so it's easier to upgrade.
Let's get in the tour bus and hit the road.
No, not a tour bus. It's a regular car we use to deliver and set up customers' phones at home or work.
Are you a groupie on this tour?
We deliver and set up phones. It's not a tour.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery wherever you're at.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com. Dreaming of getting the all-new iPhone 17 Pro designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever?
Then stay in bed and let a Boost Mobile expert deliver and set it up for you.
Oh, actually, they will have to get up and open the door.
Oh, right.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com. Terms apply.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise. And that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one. Or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
Now, my relationship with Florida, I haven't been in a really long time.
Right.
Now, growing up, and even now, I know quite a few people who have sort of second homes out in Florida where they spend the winter. Of course, there's a large snowbird population.
Of course.
That goes down, snowbirds being sort of
Yeah,
retired.
For our listeners who don't know what a snowbird
It's not an
snowbird
actual
is.
bird. It's sort of the retired or older population will sometimes
From Canada
will go down to Florida to their second homes for the winter to enjoy. So they'll spend 6 months in Florida, 6 months up here in Canada.
I should clarify, it might not just be Canadian residents, it might just be people from the Northeast or the northern parts of the U.S. and Canada who will fly down south. And I think it's not specific to Florida either. I think if you go to Myrtle Beach, you could be considered a snowbird who goes to the warmer parts
Gotcha.
in the winter months.
I've only really been to Florida. Well, I've been a few times. When I was young, we used to go to Orlando because
Okay.
of Disney World. And so we used to spend some time there. I went a couple of times with my family to Epcot and Magic Kingdom and, well, SeaWorld, even though SeaWorld isn't really, I guess, part of Disney World.
Right.
But and Universal Studios, which isn't part of Disney World, but nonetheless. So I know Orlando, although I don't remember it that much, considering that I'm much older than being
Right.
Disney age anymore.
Sure.
However, I've also been to Miami on a business trip, which was interesting. But now that I'm remembering, Marco, we actually took a family trip driving down from Montreal to
Wow.
Orlando, and it took us about 3 days. And I remember quite distinctly because we left, I think it was a March break trip,
Right.
and we went and left, I think, mid-March, and we were going down to Florida for 2 weeks. And we were driving with another family, and it was really cold when we left because March in Montreal, Toronto, sort of eastern coast Canada is still a cooler month.
Oh, for sure.
And I remember distinctly getting out in South Carolina, and the weather had changed because we had stopped, I think, before that, 5 hours or 6 hours before that, and it was still cold. And then we stopped again in South Carolina, and the weather had turned to really warm.
Oh, wow.
And so it was really interesting to feel that very distinct weather change in a seemingly short amount of time, considering that we were driving.
Do you recall if you drove through Boynton on the way to your destination? Or to Orlando?
To
said,
Orlando,
oh no, you
so
wouldn't
it would
have
be
gone.
too
It
north.
would be too north. Because I know when we drove, oh, it's Vero Beach is where that hotel that Gloria Stefan had. That just came to me. Vero Beach. We often go because it's close to where my in-laws live. And
Oh,
I believe
wonderful.
the name of her hotel is Costa d'Este or something like that. I think it has the word Costa in it.
Oh,
Anyways,
nice.
It's a beautiful hotel. And we had some coffee and tea there, I think.
Did you put some cream in
I
that tea?
most certainly did.
Good.
But yeah, I love being in warm weather when it's cold back home.
Yes.
And my disappointment is if I ever go down to a warm place like, let's say, Florida, and it's December or January here, and it's not cold when they have a warm week.
Yes.
And I'm down there, I feel like I've been
Robbed of something.
Robbed of something, yeah. So
Or the opposite, when it's cold up here and you go down thinking it's going to be warm and it ends up being, rainy weather or
Sure.
very cold, then you feel again you've been robbed.
that happened in San Francisco. San Francisco's not particularly warm in
No,
the
it's
summer.
actually very cold.
I know. And so, because you think California. And
Absolutely.
you're like, oh, we're going to California, have t-shirts and shorts. And it's summer and you're in San Francisco and it was not warm.
No, and it's funny because I have a cousin who lives in Sunnyvale, California.
Okay.
And Sunnyvale is warm, and it's very close to San Francisco. So we took the train up to San Francisco for the day.
Right.
It was freezing, but then if you go a little bit out of San Francisco, particularly if you're going up to Napa, let's say,
Mhm.
and it becomes warm again.
Right.
So it's a very particular microcosm of climate.
It's pretty neat. I know that we went from San Francisco to Sausalito, which is just I think it was like a bridge away or something. I can't remember. It was a beautiful drive, and we're like, let's go to Sausalito. And Sausalito was warm and beautiful, and we were strolling and ice cream, and then we went back to our hotel in San Francisco, and it was like freezing. It was like, what did we do here? But still very beautiful. I love San Francisco.
San
and
Francisco is a cool city.
it's a little gem that I think everyone should visit.
Absolutely.
Because, a lot of people go to California, and they'll go to Los Angeles, or they'll go to San Diego. And San Francisco being so north, people will, they won't encompass it into their trip if they're going to Southern California.
Yeah.
But I recommend going to Northern California and just exploring that area.
I've been to Napa as well, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful area to enjoy a wine experience,
Sure.
etc. So it's
Yeah, did
there's
you
a
do
lot
the-
to offer in California.
The vineyards, like, did you go to vineyards and stuff?
Yeah, I did.
You know, it's interesting, Nidhi, we're talking about Florida and then brought us to California, but I went to vineyard in Florida last time I was there.
Did you know? I didn't know that Florida was a wine-producing region.
Neither did I, and with good reason. They could only grow certain grapes, and they're not the sort of grapes that make wine that I enjoy.
Okay.
So the wine that I had at that particular vineyard, the interesting wine was one that they mixed with a mango.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So that
Was it red or white?
No, it was white with a little sort of almost a peachy tinge, but it was more white. I would say it was definitely like you'd look at it.
You don't look impressed at all.
I wasn't, but you know that just means that there's more vineyards in Florida that I have to explore
There you
till I
go.
find the right one. But I love going to vineyards, and it's interesting because I'm not a huge wine connoisseur, though I do like wine and I do know the wine that I like. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been to many vineyards.
And it's funny. Well, you know, we should really talk about this on a subsequent episode
Okay.
because you obviously were a tour guide in Italy,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that you went to quite a few vineyards as part of that particular employment opportunity.
Yes.
So I think it would be, and I know that you've gone to quite a few olive oil
Groves.
Yes, groves.
I call them groves.
Okay, so those are
Olive-
groves.
olive-
Now, what's
olive
the
groves.
difference between a grove and a plantation?
Well, that's something someone's going to have to, you know.
Let us know.
No, I'm going to say, like, when we do the vineyard episode,
Yep.
we will explore the difference between a grove, a vineyard, a plantation, I don't know what else, but like,
Okay.
yeah, you know, what makes an orchard, like what makes them. I think it's, I think
Perfect.
it's indicative of
What you're growing?
What you're growing.
I agree.
But we'll explore that in a future episode. Certainly, it's been quite a tour this episode.
It has.
From the corner store to Boynton Beach, Florida. A special hello to our listeners out there, all the way to Northern California.
Exactly. Well, as always, we encourage you to find us on iTunes at the Insomnia Project, and feel free to write us a review if you have anything to say, or if you're enjoying the podcast.
Or if you have a show idea that you'd like
or
us to
a
talk
show
about.
idea, yes, absolutely. So you can find us on iTunes, the Insomnia Project, or on Twitter at Listen and Sleep. The Insomnia Project is produced by Drumcast Productions, and this particular episode was recorded in Toronto, Canada. Until next time.